You know, every single transaction that this company experiences emanates from great creativity and great storytelling. It all starts right there. And when I returned to the company in 2022, it was very, very clear to me that we had to put creativity back to basically the center of this company.
So what does the future hold?
How do you think about the incorporation of things like AI and animatronics and all of that?
I think, first of all, it's really important that in a world where technology provides people with these visual experiences that are stunning in many ways and look real, I think we have to remember that the experience of coming to one of our parks is an immersive experience in a physical environment. The reality here is reality is real, you know, and I think that's important. So I don't want to lose that. But we also know that new generations of people in our world grow up with these incredible and stunning visual images. And so you have to deliver on that expectation, too.
They're everywhere, by the way. Everyone.
How are you all?
The way that we're getting our content is changing. What the consumer is expecting out of all of it is starting to change. How do you navigate that as the CEO?
Well, I started at ABC 50 years ago. So I've been in the entertainment business in some form or another for 5 decades. And over that period of time, almost everything has changed. One thing has not changed, and that is the importance of and the power of storytelling, and the need for people and the want of people to be entertained. And I think that's probably never been as true as it is today.
And what a great day it is to talk Disney parks and everything D23 related. How's it going, friends? Wade for the Kingdom Report here. You know we love rewarding you for watching or listening to this show. All you got to do to win your very own copy of my new book, Stand Alone, The Walt Disney Way, is leave the phrase that pays underneath this video after the live show. Head on over to the Kingdom Report on YouTube, and after the live show is over, leave the comment, Pixar Pier. Pixar Pier is the phrase that pays this week. Yeah, between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in which to enter. If you are the winner, we will get this book shipped your direction, all by leaving Pixar Pier in the comment section beneath this video after the live show. Or you can get your hands on a copy of Stand Alone, The Walt Disney Way on Amazon now. And on today's show, everything you need to know. From the D23 Expo, all the major announcements for domestic parks we are going to be touching on here today, plus your thoughts on where things should go now that they've been announced. It is really riling up the community as to where certain projects should end up and what they might misplace in the process. Journalist Ashley Carter is going to be joining us as well. She was at D23 this past weekend. She covers all the Orlando theme parks and has so much to share with us from her perspective when it comes to these D23 announcements, that and so much more. Again, I'm Wade Heath. I am joined today by Katrina Manzoni, and Kingdom Report Live starts new for you next.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
Great day outside at the Disneyland Resort. As always, taking that live look across the HojoAnaheim.com Mattercam. Yeah, you see California Adventure in the distance, the site of so many mega D23 announcements. How excited are you for what is to come? Because there is a lot on the way. Of course, we will cover all of it for you here today. Great to be with you once again. Hey, friends, Wade for the Kingdom Report. Kingdom Report Live time. It is indeed Saturday, which means all the Disney Parks news, all the theme park perspective that you need when it comes to the magical lands known as both Disneyland, Walt Disney World, and beyond. Certainly, it is always a great time to have Disney talk at the forefront of our minds, and never a better time than in the afterglow of D23 last weekend. If you were with us last weekend, we took you to the convention floor, showed you everything going on at the expo itself, and this weekend, talking about everything that happened. Again, the aftermath of everything D23, the major announcements, the major opportunities that Disney is now presented with in terms of where they put things and how they wedge all this stuff in that they say is coming our direction. We'll talk more about it and certainly dive in deeper as we go along here in the broadcast. As always, whether you are listening to us or watching, we so appreciate your time. Go ahead, hit the thumbs up button or subscribe. No matter where you are, whether you're listening or watching, your feedback always means so much to us. And who is us, you might be asking? Well, let me tell you who's here. It's not just me. I am joined today by our princess in residency, our travel agent extraordinaire, Katrina Manzone.
Oh my God. Hi, everybody.
Oh my God.
Happy Saturday.
The best of Saturdays.
We're going 2 for 2 on this show.
Can't believe it.
But no Tyler.
No Tyler.
It's okay.
You
He's
see,
busy.
Once again, Tyler Crouch, preoccupied, unfortunately not able to join us this week. That is okay.
Yeah. The rumor mill keeps spinning. They're like, where is the new CEO, Mr. Crouch? And I'm like, well, he's busy.
He's campaigning.
Exactly.
Right? Bob Iger on his way out soon. We have to continue Tyler's campaign to become Disney CEO. I think that's just a given.
Yeah.
Right? So he's on the campaign trail.
Gotta, people please, shake hands, do the thing.
And while we know where Tyler is, we haven't seen Garrett in a really long time.
The golden goose, he's flying around. I don't know where he is. Where is he going to land?
Our reporter, Garrett Hassel, he has just been MIA. Right? The last time we really saw him, now he did join us last weekend via audio. For the after party when it came to the D23 announcements. We covered 4 hours strong for you.
That's crazy.
We've never.
Hey, where was I? I was listening in and slowly sleeping.
Falling asleep, yes. Well, it went well into the night here on the West Coast, and certainly everybody on the East Coast that stuck with us till the very end. Bless you for your time.
What a trooper.
Right?
Yeah.
Bless you for thinking that you could hold on and then doing so. I mean, incredible. But at any rate, he joined us via audio last weekend, but we haven't seen him really since he got married back in May.
That's true. Is it because he doesn't want to show himself because his hair is not right?
Maybe that's it.
Is he having hair issues?
And we all know.
And he can't show off his beautiful locks?
Well, I'll tell you something.
Happening?
Earlier this week, Katrina,
Rumors.
We received an exclusive video.
So he is okay.
We have eyes on Garrett somewhere over Texas, apparently.
Oh, Texas.
An eyewitness video was
Flying
sent
south.
to us, flying south. Is that a baseball stadium in this video? Let's run the clip and see exactly what's going on here. For those of you listening, our reporter Garrett Hassel disrobing at this baseball stadium in Texas. He is sporting 2 red wings on his back. He has
what a beautiful butterfly.
Tassel streamers, and he's doing an interpretive dance of some sort at this baseball stadium. What would you characterize this as, Katrina?
Yeah. I mean, this is just beautiful.
What
is this like a love dance for Ariel?
His beautiful wife? He got married, and this is the next thing he does.
Romance alive.
I guess so. Yeah. Maybe this is
his wings. Oh no.
His wings are flying.
Oh no.
Yeah.
There it goes.
So
it's okay.
In case you were wondering where Garrett is, apparently this is where he's
here
at
a baseball stadium.
This is what he's doing.
Somewhere down south.
So perhaps our reporter Garrett Hassel will return to us one day.
But his hair looks fine, so that's all I care about.
Until then, his hair is in place.
Ooh.
Looks like he's getting a tip. And saying thank you to the adoring fans here at this Texas baseball stadium. At any rate, thank you for those of you that sent in the eyewitness video.
Oh my gosh, wow. He has fans everywhere.
He really does.
Wow.
We're always watching, Garrett. Give us a call. Let us know what's going on. If you need us to send help.
We miss you.
Yeah, a
twice
recovery
if you need
team.
help.
Don't know what's going on. At any rate, hopefully he will be back with us in the near future. Until then, though, we can't kick off a new show without a toast. So grab a cup of something magical, fill it up like so, and join us in toasting a new broadcast this week. Katrina, you have the honor. What or whom are we toasting?
Well, I just really wanted to do a little shout out. Oh. So Peter Pan's flight at Walt Disney World got a little change.
Did?
A little changeroo, and I love change.
Oh. You do.
I do, except for Cars Land
Except for that.
at Disney World.
Yeah.
We'll talk
No.
about that later. But
Attractions.
the new ride is it changed it up. So they changed up the Neverland Tribe and Tiger Lily, and I actually really love it. So I'm really happy that they're switching it up.
A change you appreciate, you
Yes.
say. Well, let's cheers to that.
Yay!
Cheers to the new Peter Pan's flight, the altered Peter Pan's flight at Magic Kingdom and Walt Disney World. Well, friends, lots to catch you up on from last week's D23 Expo. So many announcements happened. We're going to cover here for you everything that Disney says is coming to Disneyland and Disney World. But let's get you caught up on those headlines. It is time for the Disney News Review. Disney News Review time, taking a look at some of the biggest stories from across the Walt Disney Company in the past week, all focused on D23 announcements to get you up to speed. Magic Kingdom is where we begin at Walt Disney World. A new Villains Land is coming with 2 major attractions as well as shopping and dining areas. In addition to that, a section of Frontierland will be reimagined with cars. Unlike Cars Land in Disney California Adventure, this will remain part of Frontierland. The new space will have 2 attractions, one created especially with younger guests in mind, and construction on that will begin in 2025. A new nighttime parade in the spirit of the beloved Main Street Electrical Parade is coming summer of 2025. It will be called Disney Starlight. Magic Kingdom's new Pirates-themed tavern will also open in 2025. Over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, the first Monsters, Inc. land in any Disney park is coming, and construction will begin on that in 2025. Josh D'Amaro, chairman of Parks and Resorts and Experiences, says guests will travel through Laugh Factory doors in the first suspended coaster in any Disney park, saying, of course, we'll use all the latest technology, all the latest tricks, the most immersive environment you can imagine to create an experience that I think our fans are going to love, close quote. Over at Disney's Animal Kingdom, Disney previously announced Tropical America's themed land. Well, now we have some dates. That will end up opening in 2027, replacing Dinoland USA. Construction will begin in phases this fall, so guests still have a chance to ride Dinosaur one last time before it closes. The new land will feature a new Indiana Jones attraction, which tomorrow says will differ from what guests have experienced at other Disney parks. It will also feature Disney's first Encanto-themed ride and attraction, and a new carousel with characters from Disney stories. A new Zootopia Better Together show will open in winter 2025 in the Tree of Life Theater, which currently features It's Tough to Be a Bug. Over at Epcot, the newly reimagined Test Track will open in 2025, and out the back door of that, a new Spaceship Earth-inspired lounge will open as well in 2025. Over at the Disneyland Resort and Disneyland Park specifically, Tiana's Bayou Adventure is now set to open November 15th. And Disney's first audio-animatronic of Walt Disney will debut next year as the park celebrates its 70th anniversary. This one is very important to me as a cast member, Josh D'Amaro said. I've been at the company now for 26 years. I started at Disneyland. This was the park that Walt created and walked through, and he is still a part of today, close quote. Walt Disney was a pioneer in audio animatronics. His will be part of a show called Walt Disney: A Magical Life. After its initial run, it will play in rotation with great moments with Mr. Lincoln. And over at Disney California Adventure, Avengers Campus is getting 2 new attractions, which will double the size of the land. Construction will begin there in 2025. Previously announced multiverse attraction will be called Avengers Infinity Defense. A newly announced 4th attraction will be called Stark Flight Lab and allow guests to try out Stark's technology. And the first Coco ride at any Disney park is coming to Disney California Adventure, breaking ground in 2026. And Disney California Adventure is also getting the next Avatar destination. The setting will be another location on Pandora, not the same as Disney's Animal Kingdom. It will be inspired by the second film, upcoming film, and future Avatar films. And there you have it, a full rundown of all the announcements for Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Here to join us to talk about a lot of the announcements, specifically when it comes to Florida, because there's a lot happening out at Walt Disney World when it comes to this D23 event. Formerly of Spectrum News, now the editor of Theme Park Decoder, Ashley Carter joins us today. So great to have you along with us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. You know what? D23 Expo last weekend, you were there. What would you say? I mean, did you get to do very many panels? Did you get to do a lot in terms of presentations? What was it that stood out to you about the D23 Expo this year?
Yeah, I did quite a few panels and spent a lot of time on the show floor just because I like going to the different exhibits and especially like the Imagineering Pavilion because there were Imagineers there you could talk to. There were things on display, so that was really nice. And I attended a panel that Pete Docter co-hosted.
That's cool.
He has a new book coming out, and it was all about the directors, the early days of Walt Disney Studios, and it was very fascinating panel going through the whole process of how Disney had his studio set up. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I had a blast, and I was very excited when we got to the park announcements.
Oh yeah, yes, no doubt. I think the one thing that everybody truly prepares for at D23 are those park announcements.
Oh, yeah.
Katrina, you were not a part of our after announcement coverage last weekend. Like I said, we went 4 hours strong, but you were a part of the day show last weekend, so we haven't really heard from you either.
Yeah.
If you were to say one Florida announcement that stands out to you as like the most significant, the biggest one that gets you the most amped up, well, what do you think that one would be?
Oh my God. Well, I would have to say because of the when we did the show on Saturday and I was guessing what I would really want and hoping that they would announce is the Tropical Americas.
Oh, yes.
I am so stoked for Tropical Americas. I think it's just so interesting that they're going to take over like Dinoland area and then redo Indiana or redo like the Dinoland and then Dinosaur and make it Indiana Jones, which is interesting. So I am curious how they're going to change the story and make it like a new Indiana Jones story. Are they keeping the same track? And then it's just going to be like our Indiana Jones, but yet different with different stories and whatnot. I'm curious. Is the Crystal Skull going to be involved? Is Shia LaBeouf going to be in round?
Will there be more snakes?
More snakes.
Somebody tell me.
I don't know.
I need to know this myself.
No.
No, probably not. Certainly one of the biggest announcements there for Animal Kingdom. But if we turn our direction to Magic Kingdom, perhaps the grandest of all of the announcements, Ashley, was around Villains Land coming to Magic Kingdom. They held on to this until the very end. I also noticed, by the way, during the D23 announcement sessions, the big showcase, they kind of played popcorn with the announcements where they would focus on one area of the globe and then suddenly they would jump to another and then they'd go back to that area and then they'd jump to another. And so it made it kind of hard to track because I thought we were done with Disney World announcements and then suddenly there at the very end, Villains Land gets announced. What was your reaction?
I don't know. I don't remember if I posted video of when Josh D'Amaro announced it because I was screaming when that was announced, mostly because I, like so many other fans, have been hoping that Disney would do a Villains Land. To me, it makes so much sense to do it. And it opens up this whole other opportunity to kind of explore other characters that are very popular, right? Like, I don't know which villains are going to be in this land. But you think about some of the most popular Disney characters like Ursula, right? Or Jafar, like those are villains. And so to have a whole land dedicated to them is quite exciting. So I was hoping that it was going to be announced. And then, of course, like you said, they were kind of jumping around to different announcements and we were getting towards the end. I was like, okay, maybe it's not going to happen. And then it happened. And I was like, okay, this is exciting.
It's happening.
Yeah, that was my favorite.
Yeah, no doubt. I think it rocked everybody's world. Certainly was not something that I guess I just in my theme park fandom, I think I never thought it was going to come to one of the current parks. I figured it would be saved for maybe a fifth gate down the line because it's such a big idea. And so I guess I had put that away in my dream bank of what could be and thought it'll probably never happen with the modern day parks. We'll have to wait for something entirely new before this gets hauled out. So to know that it's coming to Magic Kingdom, Katrina, what a huge announcement.
It's huge. I am curious. When you were saying Ursula, I was imagining like a really creepy ride, like walking in, and then you're like walking into her cave underwater, and then you see those like little creepy poor little mer people
Oh, yes.
hanging off the side and stuff. Woo, chills. And then I was like, I don't know if I can see those little eyeballs staring at me. And then just I can just imagine if they had music playing and they were trying to fill the ambiance with like spooky, eerie music to kind of like get you involved and whatnot. And like, are they going to bring in Hades? Because that would be really cool too.
Oh my!
There's so many villains, you know what I mean? Like Mother Gothel and everything.
God of the underworld.
Like, yeah, it'd be really cool.
There's just so many opportunities. That's the beauty of it. And like you mentioned, Hades. We don't have a Hercules attraction.
Yes, and it would be on like Hades' version of how the story went, right?
Yeah.
It would be like a completely flip verse of like Hercules being a hero. He would be like the villain according to Hades. So I think that would be really cool.
Bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not like Descendants villains area because I don't want that.
Maybe there will be a corner for the kids. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They need to take inspiration from the animated classics.
Yes.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It. The concept art alone. I mean, I always take it with a grain of salt now when it comes to concept art. I think we've learned this over the years. It can be entirely different what ends up being reality. But concept art alone made this look just incredible in scope and size.
Yeah.
I hope that it really lives up to what this art looks like.
Looks like there's a lot of water. Like, is there going to be a water ride? And like, it's going to be like Maleficent. It's kind of like Maleficent centric in a way. I mean, there's a lot of purples and blues and stuff like that, which is them talking about evil. But
I've been trying to figure out whose castle that is in the distance.
me too.
I mean,
was
it looks
Maleficent?
like Maleficent.
Is it Maleficent's?
That's cool.
That's what it looks like to me.
We had somebody joining us on our after show just beyond the D23 announcements last weekend, claiming to be part of the Imagineering team. Again, take that with a grain of salt too, but had a lot to share when it came to these projects that may or may not be true based on what they were sharing, but said, that castle's pretty obvious if you just take a look at it. It's pretty obvious who it's part of. I'm like, I can't, it's too far away. I can't really tell.
I need a high-res photo of this so I can zoom in.
Peter and Hans.
Absolutely. Well, thrilled to have Villains Land coming to Magic Kingdom. Capacity alone. Let's add more rides. Let's add more extras.
Cool dining.
Think of what can be done. Oh, villains. Villains. And Ashley, something else that was announced at D23, 2 new Cars themed attractions coming to Magic Kingdom that will be a part of what Disney was considering to be the Beyond Big Thunder Mountain Frontierland type area. Of course, concept art released this week, leading many to believe that these attractions are going to pave over the rivers of America.
Yes, and the reaction has been intense. Just based on social media. So the Cars area is going to take over Tom Sawyer Island area and Rivers of America. So a lot of people are kind of not happy about that. I will say this: I literally was at Magic Kingdom this morning because I went to ride Peter Pan's Flight to see the new scene.
Oh, you saw the changes?
Yeah.
How fun?
I did. I saw the changes. So I went and did that this morning. And as I was, making my way around the park, I stopped by Rivers of America and just kind of stood there and took it in. I love that area of the park. It's so peaceful and quiet and serene. I like having that area of the park, so I understand people, being upset that that area potentially could, go away. Because it's something that just makes Magic Kingdom and Disney parks in general, I think, stand out. Because you can have these big attractions and these big themed areas, but then you just have these other areas that are just beautiful and peaceful. So, but I still am excited about Cars coming too. So I'm conflicted.
You're a big fan of the Cars, are you? You like that brand?
I'm not necessarily a big fan of I like the first Cars movie.
Yeah.
The second one, the third one, I don't like.
I think that's how we all feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I am excited about, the potential of the attractions. It sounds interesting, an off-road adventure, especially having done, Radiator Springs area over at Disneyland. I've always wanted that area over here. I know we're not getting that.
Right.
But if they can do something similar, like in the theming and everything, then that's pretty exciting.
And that's a great call out. It's not going to be Radiator Springs. It will be an extension of the Frontierland area, it looks like, or at least it sounds like. So we'll see what actually ends up being the reality in the long run. But these are attractions that will be adding a lot of capacity to that area, certainly more than the riverboat currently allots for, certainly more than the island is pulling in. Not to say that that's a good thing or a bad thing, but no doubt these attractions will obviously be magnets for folks. Katrina, I know Tyler had shared with us earlier this week, sort of in private conversation, that he doesn't necessarily think losing the rivers is that big of a deal. I believe he even said it publicly on Twitter. He shared much the same thing of it's not that big of a deal to him. Rivers of America, to you, losing something like that at a place like Magic Kingdom, does it matter?
I mean, I agree with Ashley in a way of it. It's just so serene when the hustle and bustle of Magic Kingdom already is overwhelming,
right.
And it makes me so anxious sometimes when like the parade is over or it's just a late night and there's just like all this movement, and sometimes you just need to go somewhere to feel peace. And that area, because of the water and because of the riverboat, and you could just stay on the little side path by the dock, and then just kind of look at the water, and then you can hear like Big Thunder Mountain in the distance and people kind of like falling into Tiana's Bayou, but it's for me, like that is like the calming place. Like you see this like overwhelming like bottleneck over by Haunted Mansion trying to get into Fantasyland and like all this thing, and you just like so overwhelmed, you just kind of like turn to the calming water and you're just like, okay. Right. And now they're gonna pave it all, and I get it, like they need to make it for people, for more bodies to move around, because that area is a huge bottleneck when you're kind of going into Haunted Mansion area, and in that section it's just like this big bottleneck and it's just a pain. I get it.
And it's parade corridor and everything like that on top of it.
It's just like there's so many ways you can go, and then everybody's just like bumping into one another. So of course they have to expand it, pave it out. But then I'm just like, cars? Right. Like you couldn't like think of like a out of the box situation for like the Country Bears or some other random, not an IP, but like an original idea where it is going into this like outdoor adventure, and you could create something, an extension to Big Thunder Mountain, and that would be fun. And then for me to think of like cars being in the middle of this Frontierland next to Haunted Mansion, and I hear ka-chow, and then it's like vroom, vroom, vroom with all these cars going around. I'm just like, I don't know if I will like this. And for all the people like running around that area, because even I don't know, I haven't been to Tiana's Bayou Adventure since it's open, but even when Splash did exist at that point, it was always a huge bottleneck in that area anyway. So I'm hoping that with this pavement, it will make it a little bit better, but I don't know. It just seems so, I don't know. It's just weird. I feel like it needs to belong in like Hollywood Studios or something, because that is where Pixar is. And they should just rename it to like Pixar Studios or something.
There's
I don't
a lot
know.
of Pixar influence over there, certainly.
And they do have that Cars, area over by Tower.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, you go put it over there. I mean, like rechange it around. Like there's like, I feel like there's a lot of land there.
Yeah.
Could be. I don't know. Maybe they could knock down a hotel that failed, and then they could just pave it over and make it over on that area,
There is space.
But it looks like it's going to be kind of not the exact same of our Cars attraction at DCA, but it's going to be like an outdoorsy one. Like you can see them like ready to line up and like zoom out. And it looks really cool. Like the rock work and the pictures, it looks great. It looks really fun. I just hope that it's not going to be like you're turning around Fantasyland, getting out of Haunted Mansion, and then you see like cars.
Right.
You know, I want it to be like secluded. So you see like rock work and you're like, oh, wow. And then you turn around the corner and then you're able to kind of be like, oh, okay, this is kind of like separated.
Measured theming.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely.
Makes me nervous. I don't know.
Makes me nervous too. I feel like there's a real place for the tranquility of a river in the middle of a concrete jungle that is Magic Kingdom. And, it's going to be sad to lose those sight lines and sort of that natural beauty that it brings to a place like Magic Kingdom. You're right, the chaos that you feel in a theme park. It's nice to have those spaces to go away to. More than anything, though, I mean, outside of whether it's right or wrong, to pave over the rivers of America, I'm more frustrated with the idea of this is about expansion. This is about adding capacity, not paving over what already exists to put something on top of it. It's about adding more space to a place that is already so packed.
What's the sightline going to look like when you're on top of Tiana's Bayou Adventure? Like when you're kind of like on that top little float area, and then you overlook the castle and you see all this other stuff and you're like, wow, that's so cool. And then you see Lightning McQueen going, ka-chow.
Ka-chow. Good job. More Frontiersy
I don't
for
know.
sure.
You can tell, like, I really do not want to hear
I can tell what your feelings are.
Don't get her started. Clearly, she's one of those. Well, we did poll our audience. These are Disney diehards, Katrina, our viewers, and we asked, how do you feel about Disney potentially filling in the rivers of America to bring in 2 Cars attractions at Magic Kingdom? Here's what they had to say. So, our category was 31% of people saying, save Rivers of America. 45% saying, excited for change, do it. And 24% saying excited, but put it somewhere else. So
I'm C.
The majority are saying, we can give up the Rivers of America. I'm just excited for change. I thought that was a fascinating poll, to have heard that, because based on the reaction, it sounded like, the sky is falling, Ashley.
I will say,
people
A
are
and C
furious.
are similar, though. I will
true.
That wins over the B, because it's kind of the same question. Just they want to save Rivers of America.
I think if you combine A and C, I think majority is
against
save
it.
Rivers of America.
That's a good take.
Wait, I got you.
Yeah, that's a good take. Absolutely. Well, we leave Magic Kingdom. We go over to Hollywood Studios now, where Monsters, Inc. Land has been announced for Disney's Hollywood Studios. Billy Crystal showed up at D23. Mike Wazowski, as we know him.
That was cool.
To say, hey, you're getting a Monsters, Inc. Land coming to your park out there in Orlando. That also has led the Disney fandom to be up in arms over
oh my gosh,
where the H is this thing going to be put. Ashley, we've been hearing Animation Courtyard of Hollywood Studios. We've been hearing Muppets Courtyard of Animation Studios. What have you heard? Any rumors?
I've heard both. I've heard both. As a fan, I would probably prefer it over an Animation Courtyard. I feel like that's a better place for it, regardless of my feelings on Muppets.
Right.
And I think there was an early, if I remember correctly, there was like an early rumor. This was back in, like 2010 maybe, that there was going to be an attraction put in Animation Courtyard.
Whoa, that's old, yeah.
So
2010.
so it's old. So and I think some of these plans that Disney announced are some that had been rumored for a while. So I don't know if it was Disney's like, let's go back and look at some of the things we had previously thought of, and like maybe we can resurrect this stuff and actually do it this time. So I would hope, I would prefer if they put it over an Animation Courtyard. I think that's a good place for it.
Certainly a dead zone of the park right now.
I don't think I've ever really been
you have
there.
Launch Bay over there, and honestly, it's just the character meet and greets for the most part. So, there's a whole themed land.
Yeah, and then there's like a
Star
kid play
Wars
area, right?
in the same park.
Absolutely.
So,
Makes you wonder whether or not this space will truly be the accommodating location for something as big as a Monsters, Inc. land. The Door Coaster, Katrina, quite the thrill ride by any comparison. I know that that's something that got a huge reaction. And I know that, much to what Ashley was saying about the idea that, some of these ideas, I feel like we heard about out west many years ago as potentials for California Adventures expansion and Monsters. I remember very heavily hearing about a Monsters Inc. influence at California Adventure in the Hollywood backlot section. I remember even designs.
Yeah, I heard like a Monstropolis,
Right.
its own land.
Designs being discussed and things being leaked through Mice Chat 13 years ago, something like that. I remember all of this, and so it looks like perhaps transplanted. maybe that's the course here.
Yeah.
It's nice to know that good ideas don't die, and that can be resurrected. Monsters Inc. land in general. You think it has a place at Hollywood Studios?
I think so. I mean, I understand why people are so upset about the Muppet Courtyard area because it is cute. I like it, and then everybody loves Pizza Rizzo, right? But I think the animation courtyard needs so much help because honestly, I think the only time I went there was we went just to check out the launch bay when it opened like years and years and years ago, and then got a picture because Tyler had the Disney Visa, so we got to see like Darth Vader. And so I was like, okay, that's great. I'm like, one shot done. I don't really need another picture with Darth Vader ever again. And then after that, we go, for the past 9 years. And I don't think I've ever stepped foot once after that one moment, like going to take a picture with Darth Vader and checking out that area. And then that was it.
Clearly
it's just
not the
kind of
demo.
like it's just a forgotten area for me. Boop. But I know there's like a little kids area for kids to go run around and whatnot, or go see Star Wars and whatnot. And that's fine. But I think it needs something. I need something happening. It's kind of boring.
And to lose the last link to Jim Henson in the theme parks relating to Muppet Vision 3D in that courtyard, I think would be sad also. It's to lose it because obviously California Adventure got rid of the show as well in exchange for Mickey's PhilharMagic. So to lose that last Muppet presence with the show, and then to also overhaul probably that entire Muppets Courtyard area to be Monsters, that would sting a little bit.
I don't really think it would fit in like Monsters Inc. like right there.
Right there, alongside Star Tours.
Yeah, it's just really weird. Like it'd be Star Tours, this bright Monstropolis area, and then you got Galaxy's Edge, and then you have this like New York-y type of street, and then that's it. And then you're like, oh, okay, like you should have put it up to like Toy Story area,
Right.
or so if it's like on the side of like, off to the side, it's fine.
And Launch Bay, you're right, has become sort of obsolete now with
Launch
Star
Bay's
Wars Galaxy's
everywhere.
Edge. Up and running. We did ask, again, our viewers when it came to Monsters, Inc. Land coming to Hollywood Studios, where should it go? And here are the reactions. 73% of our audience said Animation Courtyard, Star Wars Launch Bay area is where it should go. 15% saying Muppet Courtyard. 11% saying somewhere else. So for combining A and C, you two... Overwhelmingly, people
Done
are
deal.
saying, people are saying it should not be in the Muppets Courtyard area. I subscribe to that as well. I think that Animation Courtyard needs to be revived. Obviously, going into Hollywood Studios in its heyday, the Animation Courtyard was kind of the jewel, the crown jewel of what that park was all about.
Yeah.
And animation was, drawn live there. They created movies there. It was a whole attraction and experience. And now that corner just kind of sits idle. Waiting for people.
I'm waiting for those little hay barrel thingies to like go across.
There's another tumbleweed.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, Tropical Americas, as you had mentioned, Katrina, something you were pretty thrilled to hear. Tropical Americas Land replacing Dinoland USA at Animal Kingdom, bringing an Encanto ride. And yes, Indiana Jones is taking over Dinosaur, that new Indiana Jones story. Actually, I think what I like most about this is, number one, I know Dinoland had its charm. I realized that it was intentionally made to be cheap feeling. That was the concept, right? That was the whole idea. But I love the fact that this now looks, from a concept art perspective, so beautiful, so grand. I feel like this could be so lush and such a great complement to the rest of Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I agree. Especially when, you look at the rest of the areas of Animal Kingdom and you have, Africa and Asia, and now you'll have like South America, right? Tropical Americas. I am loving the concept art that they have released, and I'm curious to see, I want to see this come to life, and how, lush everything can look. Again, I think that's a great addition to the park.
That's a great word, lush.
Lush.
Yes.
That's when I first
Because,
saw the
you go
pictures.
through Animal Kingdom and there's just canopies and like there's just greenery everywhere. I always feel like I'm, so separated from, the other parts of Disney World. I just feel like I'm in a completely different place because of the landscaping and everything at that park. And so to have tropical Americas, that's pretty exciting. I can't wait to see what they come up with for that.
I noticed a running theme through the D23 announcements this year: boat rides everywhere.
That's true.
Lots of boat rides.
It's so calming,
Yeah, I'm all for it. I think that's
love
great.
boat rides.
Yeah,
even that thing when we talked about like the previous shows, like my favorite rides in Disney World. It's like they're boat rides.
Yeah, well, it's something that pretty much everyone can do.
Right.
Yes.
So because you have coasters, and I'm a big coaster person. Like I love a good coaster, but not everyone likes coasters. And then, you usually run into the height restrictions and things. But with boat rides, you can pretty much everyone in the family can do one.
And especially like accessibility too for everybody. I think that's like super important.
That's another thing. Yeah.
You got that right. And over in the other corner of the Tropical Americas area is going to be the Indiana Jones attraction replacing Dinosaur. Certainly, it is hard to see an attraction with such a creative character structure that Dinosaur is, Dr. Seeker being such a great theme park character. I love the storyline of that attraction. I think it's hilarious. Losing out on that's going to be tough, but having an Indiana Jones overlay, knowing how just powerful Indiana Jones is out at Disneyland, bringing that to a place like Animal Kingdom certainly is not a letdown in any regard. Are you? Have you been on the Indiana Jones adventure attraction at Disneyland, Ashley?
I have once. Years ago.
So apparently it's the same track layout, right? I've heard that many times.
Yeah,
and it definitely feels that way.
And everything, yeah.
Like I know the turns I'm going to take when I'm on Dinosaur, but I'm being engaged by T-Rexes and
not our
giant
dino.
So. Not our dino, right?
Yeah.
Incredible to have that now as part of what will be the options at Animal Kingdom. Indiana Jones being a part of Animal Kingdom's future story, I think, is a really cool effect for sure. And I know that on top of these things, we also heard Magic Kingdom finally getting a new nighttime parade. I called it. Did I not call it last week? We had to get a nighttime parade back at Magic Kingdom. This announcement to me, Ashley, seemed like certainly something that should have been made years ago. It's so sad, that Spectro Magic being what that was for Magic Kingdom for so long, and then going into an era where we had this on-again, off-again relationship, I guess is the term I'll use, with the Main Street Electrical Parade and bringing that back in for a couple of runs. And there really hasn't been a constant night parade at Magic Kingdom again. Looking forward to this, are you?
Yes. I think when they were announcing it, I think I mouthed, like, thank goodness. No, yeah, I think, Disney does such a great job with their parades and their nighttime shows. It has been sad that Magic Kingdom hasn't had a nighttime parade, and I think they need it. It helps with, we were talking about capacity earlier. I think it definitely helps with that, because not everybody necessarily wants to watch the parade, so that frees up the people to do other things, but then you'll have a number of people watching the parade. And also, I think it just adds to that magic, right? Like, you have a nighttime show with fireworks, and then you also have this parade with characters, and that, people can see these characters and these floats at night too, especially if they don't go during the day.
You betcha. More entertainment, the better at a place like Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
Exactly. Absorb those crowds. Give more for people to do, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what Tyler and I used to do. We never really watched the fireworks or watched the nighttime parade. We would always just go to the Fantasyland rides and just keep riding them over and over again, because that was a hard thing to do in the afternoon.
Absolutely. Yeah. Put me on Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Yeah, it was like a
Till I
30-minute. Oh my gosh. Just keep rocking.
Keep rocking. Keep swinging. Well, from a production standpoint, Ashley, obviously D23 Expo's showcase presentation around parks this year was not live streamed officially. People had to bootleg it like we did in order to see what was going on in that arena. Not necessarily sure why that was the plan this year, other than I noticed there was a lot of music that was presented this time around. But from a production standpoint, and you tell me if you feel this way, it came across to me as one of the best showcase presentations I've ever seen Disney do. You were there live. Tell us your reaction, your thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially when you compare it to, D23 presentations from previous years. This one was just bigger. It felt more structured. And yeah, they had quite a few musical acts. I was actually surprised with how much music they had in the presentation. Not that I was complaining.
Right.
But yeah, I was surprised by that. But I think, they kind of had to do that. You're putting it in the Honda Center. There's 12,000, people in this arena. You gotta go big. And what I really did love being in the Honda Center was how they used the space, and how they used technology. So they had, giant screens. So, depending on where you were sitting, you could still see what was going on the stage. They also gave everyone wristbands that would light up throughout the presentation at different moments. And so, you're sitting in the arena and suddenly, you get to the villains announcement and everything is glowing, green or purple, and it's the entire arena, right? So it sets the mood, it sets the tone, and that happened throughout all the presentations. And I think they did just a really great job. From a fan perspective, sitting there watching everything, it was very well done.
Absolutely. I think more than anything, what stood out to me was how much of a win this felt like after watching it. And we went on the air. We were scheduled because I feel like this went on for far longer than they had even planned, based on the timing of everything for that night. But after watching it, I thought this was such a win for Disney. Mm-hmm. This was such a win for Josh D'Amaro. This was such an epic presentation, and nobody got to see it unless you were there, and unless you had to root out those, those bottom feeder links, to find who's filming inside, sort of a thing. But nobody got to see it. And that to me feels like one of the biggest letdowns of this entire D23 Expo is everyone should have been able to see that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, but then we talked about it the other time too. It creates FOMO.
Exclusivity.
And it creates this thing where I have to see it next time in 2 years. And so then they'll, do it that way. And also, I mean, I think they did want to make it feel special.
Yeah.
Make the rumors fly. People are on Twitter, people are trying to screen, do snippets and stuff, and then it just makes a high demand.
Yeah, it felt very much like a San Diego Comic-Con strategy, right?
Yeah.
You want to be there as everything is happening.
Right.
And if you've paid to be there, you get access to this, and everyone else kind of gets everything after. Mm-hmm. I'm not necessarily saying that's, the best approach, but I think that's kind of how it felt. And I think this was the first time Disney had the presentations at the Honda Center. Usually it's at the Anaheim Convention Center in Hall D. So I don't know if they just were like, let's just give the people who are at the Honda Center the, exclusive access to this for the first time, right? And who knows, if they continue doing the presentations at the Honda Center for the next D23, which I hope they do, because I think it gave more people opportunity to be there for it. Maybe they'll stream it. Who knows? Maybe I just think for the first time they were like, let's just try it this way and see how it goes.
Well, I had fear of missing out. That's for sure.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, it looked amazing.
But now you're going to go to the next one, right?
Yeah, see, I got to be there.
See?
Now I have to be there. Well, very good. Ashley, thank you so much for being a part of this rundown of D23 announcements from Walt Disney World. You can check out everything Ashley's up to, themeparkdecoder.com. And then, of course, check her out on social media. Ashley Carter1 at Ashley Carter1 is where you can find her social media handle. Anything else we can present for you? Anything else that people should know about Theme Park Decoder?
No. I mean, I do have a YouTube channel. It's Theme Park Decoder as well. And I'm trying this thing called vlogging. I'm trying it. We'll see how it goes.
Stick with
but
it.
yeah,
Stay
I
strong.
plan on posting more. I plan on posting more videos from the parks because I go to the parks like at least twice a week.
That's
I am
fun.
there. So because I love them. So
She
I'm
loves
always
them.
there.
Yeah, if you're not following Ashley, you need to for up-to-the-minute coverage of all kinds of things happening in the theme parks, not just Disney. On top of it, too. She's all
True.
over
Yeah,
the
I'm in
place.
Orlando, so I mean we're the theme park capital.
Yeah,
true.
she's surrounded by them.
Yeah.
But we can't thank you enough for being a part of the news rundown today.
Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, stick around, Ashley. I feel like trivia is upon us. Disney Trivia Minute time. Let's get into it. Oh, Disney Trivia Minute, where we ask our team some questions from the past to see if they have their thinking cap on and they are prepared to deliver the correct responses. More often than not, not really, but we always try, that's for sure. Joining me here today, Ashley Carter, producer Tony off camera. We have the lovely one, Katrina Manzone. We will begin with a question about a Disney Channel original movie. And that original movie was one of their most popular ever. The question is, in what year did Disney Channel debut the much-anticipated sequel High School Musical 2? Was it A, 2006, B, 2007, or C, 2008? Ashley, what would you say?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna get this wrong. I'm gonna say C.
C, 2008?
Can I phone a friend?
Poll the audience, 50-50. She's going with C, 2008. Katrina, Disney Channel debuted High School Musical 2 in what year? 06, 07, or 08?
First off,
Okay.
I was very excited when you said Disney Channel original, and I was like, hell yeah, I got this. Boom, boom. And then you're like, oh, nope, I'm generationed out. This is not.
Oh.
I did not watch High School Musical 2 until way later in life. So shame on you. High School Musical,
Yes. Quite a film.
very good.
Quite a franchise,
you
I
know,
should say. Yeah.
yes. Sharpay, Evans, all that stuff. Yay her.
Her.
I have no idea. I'm trying to remember when High School Musical even came out. I want to say I was maybe in college at that point.
Not in high school.
I don't know. Like 2006, I graduated high school. So I'm like, I don't remember it being there, but maybe 2000. And then it took a couple years possibly for them to do High School Musical 2, feed off of capitalism. I'm going to say C. I don't know. I'm scared. So I'm going to say C.
All right, that's 2 for 2008. And producer Tony, Disney Channel debuted High School Musical 2 in what year? 06, 07, or 08?
Katrina, if you aged out.
Aren't you 22?
That's right.
Sure. Times. 2007, just because I don't even remember watching
2007
this
sounds like a
movie,
good
so.
year.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Sure,
Nice. Yeah, nice year.
Yeah.
For a summer break. I remember
Sure.
that about High School Musical 2.
Way to throw things against the wall here, everyone. All right. The correct answer to in what year did Disney Channel debut High School Musical 2? Producer Tony is correct.
Oh
B,
my
2007.
gosh. Did I wait a minute? I deserve that and this too.
You deserve it all.
Boo.
Look at you, babe. Look at you.
babe.
Strutting your stuff. Bravo.
That's right.
Next up in the Disney Trivia Minutes, in what year did the People Mover close at Disneyland Park? Was it A, 1994, B, 1995, or C, 1997? Ashley, the People Mover, is still out running in Magic Kingdom to this very day. Beloved attraction. However, it closed at Disneyland Park some time ago, and we've been feeling the pain ever since. And what year did it close?
I'm gonna say C again. Gonna go with C.
1997 for you?
Yeah.
All right. So 10 years
Not 100%
before.
confident.
10 years before High School Musical 2 came out.
Oh my God.
Very good. Katrina, People Mover, when did it close at Disneyland? Was it 94, 95, or 97?
Oh my God. I feel like I should know this
You
because we
should.
always talk about it and we're always so sad because we're like, oh, it's been this many years since
We
it's
cry all the time.
closed and blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. And then I'm not thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, for sure. And I'm
Yeah.
like, bleh.
I see the track when I go. Track's falling apart.
I know.
Yeah.
And then I look at it and I'm like, what a waste.
What a waste.
I'm going to say A.
A.
Because I feel like it was early on. I feel like I don't remember it as a kid.
94, you said.
Yes.
All right. Producer Tony, the People Mover at Disneyland, it closed in what year? 94,
B.
95, or 97? Did you say B?
Just because.
B just because?
Yeah.
Liar.
I got it right last time, so let's try it.
Wow, look at this guy. So we've got a 94, a 95, and a 97 guess. So
One of us has
someone
to be,
is
yeah.
right.
It's true.
And I will tell you that
Wow.
breaking news.
Breaking news.
Tony Sweet is
Oh
correct
my
again.
God.
B, 1995.
Wow. What is going on today? I'm going to buy a lottery ticket.
Oh my
You are on
gosh.
fire, sir. Everyone's proud of you.
You sound so sly. You're like, hee hee hee.
Thank
Congratulations.
you. Thank you.
Ashley, thank you so much for playing along. And to all of you who played along at home, hopefully you are that much wiser now when it comes to Disney trivia. You stick around. More Kingdom Report Live for you next. You know, Walt Disney, he is seen as sort of this mythical creature nowadays, this magical man that could do no wrong. And yet, he spent most of his life steeped in failure. From heartache to betrayal to death and even a breakdown of his own. It's often said that artists are tortured souls, and I think it's safe to say that Walt Disney was a tortured soul by his own standards most of his life. Walt Disney had to do some of the hardest things any person can do, and that is convince others of unimaginable dreams, dreams he had solely in his head. And oftentimes he had to stand alone in his own visions to make them happen. He was surrounded by family, he was surrounded by fawning fans in the public wherever he went, and yet so often he had to stand alone in his decisions and his choices. Only he understood what it was he was trying to do. He's more like you and me than I think a lot of us assume. Stand Alone, The Walt Disney Way. 10 Lessons for Harnessing Your Own Magic. A new book by me, Wade Heath. Available at Amazon or wherever books are sold. Be inspired by Walt Disney all over again. And no doubt we've spent a lot of time talking about Disney World's announcements when it comes to the D23 Expo and all the things coming to Orlando. Well, we did want to touch on some of the things coming to Disneyland because California Adventure is getting the majority of the attention here when it comes to D23 announcement. Avengers Campus is going to double in size with 2 new attractions at California Adventure, both the Infinity Defense Mega E-Ticket attraction and the new Stark ride that basically looks like the sum of all fears, some of all thrills, I think is what it was called at Epcot at Innovention some time ago. It looks like just an expanded version of that. Also, Avatar Land coming to California Adventure. We were wondering which theme park would get Avatar Land, and now it sounds like 2 major attractions along with all the frills that comes with an Avatar Land will be coming to DCA. On top of that, they are going to also be receiving much attention by way of this being a different story entirely from the Pandora World of Avatar that we know at Animal Kingdom. And then, of course, Coco, a boat ride, as I was saying a little bit earlier. Boat rides everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Getting a boat ride coming to California Adventure themed to Coco. Where will it go? We only want to know now. Am I right? And then finally at Disneyland Park, Walt Disney A Magical Life, a new show debuting at Disneyland in 2025. The first audio-animatronic Walt Disney to ever be created will be at the Opera House in Disneyland, rotating between Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln and Walt's show there at the Opera House. Katrina, of all these announcements, which one are you most amped up about?
Coco.
Coco?
Hands down.
Really?
Coco. I am so excited for Coco to happen. We've been talking about it since 2 years ago when they announced it, and then never brought it up again because it was all blue sky stuff. And then I'm waiting for this to happen because I love boat rides, and they're gonna be so cool because it's gonna be animatronics, and you're gonna have all of the beautiful colors and everything. So it's just gonna be great.
Gotta love the afterlife.
And hopefully there's a Satuli Canteen in Avatar.
There better be, or we
or
riot.
I am going to riot.
We will riot.
Yeah.
Disney, you've been put on notice. Ashley Carter from Theme Park Decoder, also here with us. Ashley, when it comes to the Disneyland announcements, which one is, I guess, the one that impresses upon you the most is whoa, or that's something I'm going to Disneyland for?
I'm kind of excited about Pandora.
Yeah.
Simply because even though we have a version of that here at Animal Kingdom, this one's going to be inspired by the second Avatar movie and future Avatar movies. So it'll be a completely different look and storyline. And so that's kind of exciting because I feel like the world of Pandora, you can do so much with. You can explore so many different aspects of it. And so to have something that's Pandora for people who want that over at Disneyland, California Adventure, that's different than the one here, it would be nice. So that way, if I do go over there and visit, I'm not visiting the same thing. It's not copy paste,
The way it should be.
Yeah, the way it should be.
Yeah, each park,
no
each
clones.
Destination should be its own attraction, you know, and
make
not,
it worth going to both parks.
Exactly. Who wants to copy and paste? Nobody wants that. So I was thrilled more than anything during D23 to hear that these are all going to be new stories, new concepts, new ideas. Even though it might be similar to what we've seen elsewhere, it's going to be different too. Can't be more thrilled than that. And certainly when it comes to the first Walt Disney audio-animatronic being created, talk about a moment in time that I didn't know if we would ever see this in our lifetime.
If it's going to switch, is it a rotating
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. You know, like perhaps a pivot table maybe on the stage at the Opera House, a rotating show, having both Abraham Lincoln and Walt Disney in the same room. Imagine those conversations when the crowd isn't there. What are they talking about?
When the park is closed, the animatronics come to life, and then
Jon Favreau was developing a film many years ago called Magic Kingdom. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but he talked about it off and on for the better part of 2 years, and then everything went silent. And I've always wondered what happened, because it was supposed to be the same idea of like Night at the Museum, but Night at Magic Kingdom. It's supposed to be the same sort of concept.
That would be cool.
Wouldn't that be great?
Interesting.
And with Jon Favreau, I would have a lot of trust.
Would it be like eerie, or would it be funny? Was he trying to do like an eerie take? Because then I could see Disney being like, nah. But if it's like a fun take.
I mean, how could it not be fun though?
Yeah.
Right? Like, think of the adventure that could happen.
Like inspired by Night at the Museum.
Right.
Yeah.
Think of the adventure. Anyway, so it would be great to have that Walt Disney audio-animatronic arrive just in time for Disneyland's 70th anniversary.
That's perfect.
Can't wait.
That's what needed.
Going to be great to hear his story from him there on stage, and I can't think of a better place on Disney property worldwide than right there in the heart of Town Square at his original Disneyland.
Where it should be.
Where it should be. Absolutely. Well, Ashley, thank you again for joining us. Katrina, as always, it's a pleasure. And we want to thank you for stopping by for another week of Kingdom Report Live. Make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss a thing. And remember, the legacy of Walt Disney, it lives on because of people like you and me. We'll see you next week, Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, for Kingdom Report Live.